everybody, it's Valerie from Valerie Wallace-9. I'm here in my basement studio in Orono, Maine, 04473, and today we're going to do number 2 class on making a paper mache monster pinata, okay? It's got a little hole in the top, little scar where you can put the candy in if you want to. So the thing is because we're making it a pinata, we have to make it able to sustain, a lot of hitting, so that if you don't know what a piñata is, you fill it with candy and good stuff, and then you everybody takes turns and they hit it and it cracks open, and then there's candy and everybody runs, and it's a free-for-all. So today, what we should have done, if you did the first class, you'll have a balloon that has a coating of paper mache on there, okay? The second thing we have to do is we have to make a cage so that if all you had was this and the balloon on here, the balloon will actually stay. People think you have to pop the balloon, but you don't have to pop the balloon. It's just going to stay like that. It'll stay there like that for a long time. But when it does pop, if you pull, the whole thing's going to come out, and then your piñata is just going to sailing across the yard. And that's no fun because you have to hang it back up again. So you have to make it with a weight so that we'll hold on. First thing we want to do, though, is to make sure that you've got some paper mache mixed up, okay? Because it takes a little bit for the lumps to get kind of soft. So again, you just take, I got some of regular white flour. It's like $2. Cup and a half, something like that. The thing I forgot to say last time is you don't need to throw it out when you're done. Have something with a cap so you can put it on there, and if you leave it in the refrigerator, that's a good idea because it will really, really smell bad if you leave it out for very long, more than a couple of days. And if you aren't going to use it for a long time, you can put it in the freezer and then pull it out and thaw it out. That we don't need to waste it, okay? I put some warm water in here. I'm going to put in about half of this cup. That's all it needs. You don't need glue. I don't know where people get that idea. Trust me, this is thick enough, or strong enough. So you just stir that up, and you want it kind of like creamy soup. Not too thick, but not too thin. If it's too thin, it doesn't have enough flour in it, it doesn't actually stick as well. But kind of like that. And while I'm putting the cages on there, I'm just going to let this kind of soak, and that'll get rid of the lumps. All right? Always better to mix up a little more than you need than not enough. Okay. The other thing that you need is some tape. And I like to use duct tape because when it gets wet, which of course it's going to get wet with the mixture and stuff like that, this tape will stay on. Regular masking tape, sometimes if you get the good kind of masking tape, it will still stick. But to be safe, you want to maybe get this. And when you do it, you don't need pieces of tape this long. Don't be wasteful. You can take, maybe about an inch. I mean, that's not an inch. That's a couple inches. And then you can take it like this, and you can just tear it in half, and now you have 2 pieces. Okay? Don't be wasteful. And I put a whole bunch of them over here on my girl's head so that they're ready to go when it's time. All right, so I have my balloon. I want to get the cage set up. And so what it's going to do is that it will hold on here, and it will hold from top to bottom and from side to side so that you can hit it lots and lots of times, and it won't fall off the string that you have it on. So the first thing you need are 2 pieces of wire, and I have 20, I have wire like this, and that's 24 gauge. It's kind of thin. You don't want it too stiff because it's hard, because it'll cut your fingers up while you're working with it. So what I did was make 2 pieces. Always get more than you think by, like, a good this much. Don't get way too much because it'll be wasteful, okay? So if I hold this and I wrapped it around my my thing, I'm about this much extra. That'll work out okay for me. It's actually probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more. But so what you do, take your 2 pieces, and you've cut them. They're about the same size. Kind of match up the ends. like this. Pull it tight. I don't know, can you see that? I think so. And what you do is you take the top like this, hold it in the hand that you don't write with. Like for me, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold it in my left hand. And then I'm just going to take that top. Doesn't have to be a big loop, just a little one, just enough so that you can get a string through there, okay? And just wind that around a few times so you have a little loop like this. I don't know, can you see it? I don't know. A loop, okay. Then you take it like this, and you pull out your pieces, bend them away from that loop, and make it like they go in 4 different directions. I don't know what to call that. Okay? Like this. Can you see it? Oh no. Can you see it? It's like this. Maybe like that. Okay? All right. Then I'm going to take my guy. And you could do it this way if you want to. If you want it to look like a cone head, you could do it this way. If you want it to be like a football head, you can do it this way. You know, but if you want it kind of like this, you probably want the narrower part down here. All right? So I think you can see that. I'm going to put it in my little tray here. I have a little, you know, like salad tray from the store. These are really great because it will kind of hold it steady and also hold up, catch all the droppings. The droppings, that's gross. But, okay, so then I'm going to take, I don't want my fingers too wet because things won't stick. Okay, I'm going to take 2 pieces of tape. I'm going to find the top of my balloon. I think you can see it. All right, and I'm going to tape, I only need to tape 2 of them, 2 opposite sides, okay? I don't need to do all 4 of them. No point. No point in wasting. You don't need to. Okay, so it looks like this. Can you see that? So I've got my little loop, and then I've taped 2 opposite ones. All right, and then I can take the other ends. All right, and all you do is kind of crisscross them with your fingers. Can you see that? And then give it a little twist, and then just take one finger, I mean, not one finger, but one hand, and just kind of wind that up. If you have a lot of extra, you know, you can trim it. But give it a good wind on there, wind it around. Yeah, I have a little bit extra, so I'll just snip a little of that off. It is sharp, you know, so if you want, you can take it and kind of tuck it under the other piece, so it's tucked in there. All right? All right, now I'm going to go and do the ones in the other direction, like that. And I've got this string still on here just because, so I take 2 hands and I wind it a couple of times, and then I can just take it with 2 fingers and just kind of wind it on one side. I don't need to. All right? Wind that up like that. All right. So that's going to hold, ooh, my fingers, okay. I'm going to wind that in there. So this will hold it, and I used to think the time I figured this out, I thought that was enough. And then what happened is the wires that are going like this, after you hit it enough, they kind of swung around and collapsed, and so then the balloon just shot out, you know, between the wires. So that means you have to go horizontally too, okay? So I have two more pieces of wire like this. And probably what I'll do is I'll take one and, you know, I'm going to go around this way with one and around a little bit lower with the other one. So I'll pull it through one of the wires, find about the middle. Not that it really matters. Okay, and then I want to twist that and hold it tight. And then put a piece of tape on there to hold that. That should stay anyway, but that'll be good. Okay, so it looks like this. Can you see it? All right, but you can't, you have to at least get it tightly on there. You can't just weave it around because then it will just slip. Okay? And the paper mache will hold the wire to a certain degree when you have it on this, you know, it's glue, but at the same time, it's always, a piece of tape won't hurt, okay? Then I will thread it in the next, I'll take one and I'll thread it to the next one. And I don't think you really need to make a knot. You can just, you know, you pull it through and then make a loop and come back around the same way again. Okay? Does that make sense? I don't have anybody to answer me. I don't have anybody here to help me. Okay, so it's like that. I'll do the one on the other side. Okay? Thread that, I'll slide it underneath. And then I will go back around to the way that it came from, and I'll loop that around there again. You know, and that's the thing. That's a great thing about wires. You don't have to like tie it. So I'm slipping around here a little bit. Probably should put tape there too. Okay. And then I'm a little short on this one, so I'm going to do this side, and I'll wind that around. All right. I should have. Okay. I'll have to do both of these. Okay, and then I have two pieces like this, so I want to pull those tight and give it a twist a couple of times, and then I can again twist it with just one hand, twist that around there, good. Okay, that's why you don't want the wire to be too stiff, because there's a lot of twisting and you'll cut your little fingers off. Okay, don't worry if you don't have wire. I'm going to show you what to do with string. If you don't, and then, okay, so I have to put the other one on there. Same thing. I'm going to do that a little bit lower. I got it kind of wet there, so tape it's on the other side. If you don't plan on breaking it, you frankly can skip. You can kind of skip this step. You still want to have a nice little loop to, maybe I don't need that, to put your string on, even to just to display it. Don't forget, that's like one of the cardinal rules of making a sculpture, is that right from the get-go, you need to make sure you have a way to display it, right? You can't, it's all well and good to make your cool little sculpted head out of Sculpey, and then you put it down the table and it just rolls off. You know, that's no good. You have to think about what how you're going to display it. And so in this case, if it's going to be some kind of head, or even if you were going to make a fish or a bird or whatever you want to make, you still need to think about having a nice loop on there that's not going to fall. You don't want to add it at the end. I've had to do that, and sometimes you can, but you can. You can always do it. There's always a way, but it's a lot better to plan from the start, okay? You wouldn't want to go see the sculptor David and he was just lying down on a table because they didn't make it so he could stand up, right? That wouldn't be any good. Okay, so I threaded those all through. They'll hold okay. Give that a wind and a twist. Okay, so that's basically the second step. And what I'm going to do is I didn't cut the pieces I wanted, but I'm going to put another coat of paper mache on here. All right, so tuck that in there. I think what I'll do too is, just for the sake of, I guess I don't need that on there anymore. I can cut this straight out because I'm going to get that out of the way because I'm going to hang it from here. I'll put this piece of string back on here. Yeah, so if you don't want to break it, you don't have to go to the whole trouble to make the cage, but you do want to put a piece of wire on there and have it hold it good. And if you, and you could skip this, if you're going to hit it, I will put another coat of paper mache on here, and then probably between now and the next time, because the next time we'll start putting the parts on to make the nose and the eyes and all that. We'll do that the next time. I will probably put 2 coats of paper mache on there because I'm going to have my piñata hit by some adults, and they're going to hit it hard, and I don't want it to fall apart too much, so I'm going to make sure that it's really it will be really hard. Okay, So I have that. This is all ready to go with the paper mache. I was going to show you with the box. I have a picture on my page of one that you can make. This is a little bit smaller, but so what I did was I got my twine and, you know, I kind of wrapped it around, gave myself extra, and I cut the pieces and I just tied them, you know, just one, you know, tie and then tie again. And then, and so I put 2 around, and then I want to, my head is going to hang like this. So I need to have 2 of these. I put a loop on there. This is how you do that. So I take my twine, and I'm going to hold it in my left hand, my 2 end pieces, okay? So I have the loop here, okay? Then I'll hold that with my left hand. I take my right one, okay, like this, and I'm using my middle finger. I'll wrap that around there, okay? So you see that? And then you pull the loop through that place where my finger was, and that's how you can make a, I don't know, slip knot? I don't know. Okay. So I have that. The same thing that I did with the other thing is, with the balloon one, I'm going to put them on there, kind of near each other, because I'm going to tie another string through there. So I'll put that like that, and I'll put a piece of tape here, and a piece of tape here. All right. And what I did was, I don't know, can you see that? Yeah. So you thread it through and then tie it. All right. So what I did was I went under the string, okay, and then I went back and I tucked it under the string that I had brought down, okay, so I have a big loop, and then I'm going to put it back through that hole, okay. That's how you can make a tie like that, okay. So that's on there. I do that the same thing on the other side. Pull it down through there, go back and under. I have some dumb thing that I say, like under the log, back under the log. I can't remember anymore. It's been a while. Okay. And then I go through the hole like that. I've been doing summer art camps for a lot of years, and usually that's one of the projects we do is paper mache. Okay, so then I have to say it over and over again every week, but I haven't had to this year. Okay, tie this on there like that, tie, and then go around, do it one more time. That'll hold that good, okay? And I have a string here, again, because you want to make sure that your sculpture can be hung up, no matter what you're going to do with it, whether you're going to hit it or whether you're just going to hang it up in your room. I remember, I think it was one of the Gerards, or maybe they bought one from me, and then they hung it in their basement stairwell. They like to tease their kids, I think, a little bit. Like something like this. So you open the door up and it's like hanging right in front of your face. So if you're that kind of person, you're well on your way to making something that you can scare people in your family. Okay, so you have this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add eyes and nose and stuff like that on it the next time. Okay? If you need a refresher on that, I'm not going to do the whole thing. So we're almost done. If you already know how to put the paper mache stuff on, you can skip this. If you didn't see that one, okay? So I have my stuff mixed up. I'm going to put it on my right side because I'm right-handed. I'm going to get as close as I can. I've covered my table. I've covered my floor. I've covered me. And you take your, what I do is kind of methodically take your, ooh, see, I already did it. These are the phone book papers, so they're not quite as tough. And start right at one end, like that. And if you put a couple in at a time, it moves a little faster. You dip it in, take 2 fingers, slide it down a little bit, overlap it about halfway, flatten it out, go to the next one, slide it through, lay it right on there. This is a little thin. I'm going to Stir it up a little bit. You know, you want it to look a little bit drippy with white mixture, okay? Lay that on there, okay? And I'm just gonna go right down and I'm gonna flip it right over and I'm gonna come the other way and then I'll turn it sideways and I'll go the other way and that'll cover it good. And then you can either leave it in the dish for a while to dry, or if today it's pretty sunny out, I like to take it out and hang it on the clothesline or someplace, and it'll dry pretty well in the sun. I have a wood stove. If it doesn't dry, I'm going to do that. And then probably I'm going to put another coat of the paper mache strips on it tomorrow, so that by Wednesday I'll get it dry. It'll be three layers thick, and then we'll put on the features, and then we'll let it dry, and then, you know, maybe I'll show you little tips on how to get it painted. Okay? Sound good? Okay? Any questions? I guess if you have a question, you'll have to send it to me because I can't hear you. Okay, all right, I think we're good. Okay, thank you. So look for me Wednesday, and if you, these are all on YouTube under Valerie Wallace Fine Arts, or Art Classes by Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. They're also on my Facebook page, Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you guys later.